All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are diving into a huge and honestly pretty surprising move by one of tech's absolute legends. This is a big one, folks, because it could tell us a whole lot about where the AI gold rush is headed. So, at the heart of all this is a real head scratcher, a mystery involving billions of dollars in the AI market. A top tier investor just did something that has everyone talking. We're going to unpack exactly what went down and, more importantly, what it might mean for the future. Okay, to really get why this is such a big deal, you first have to know who we're talking about: Peter Thiel. And look, his track record, it isn't just good, it's the stuff of Silicon Valley legend. I mean, this is the guy who co-founded PayPal and Palantir, the data analytics giant. Oh, and he was also Facebook's very first outside investor. To put it simply, the man knows how to spot a winner early. So when he makes a major trade, yeah, people sit up and pay very, very close attention. And this is the move that sent shockwaves through the market. In the third quarter of 2025, his fund, Thiel Macro, sold its entire stake in Nvidia. We're talking a position worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This wasn't just, trimming a position. This was a complete, full-on exit from the company that many consider the undisputed champ of AI. And the numbers here are just, wow. He sold over 500,000 shares, 537,742 to be exact. I mean, that's a massive liquidation. But to really feel how big this was, you need to see what that actually meant for his portfolio. Get this. That single stock made up a whopping 40% of his entire reported portfolio. Just think about that for a second. Nearly half of his fund's value was tied up in one company. To sell all of it in one go, that is a monumental strategic shift. Now, to really truly grasp how shocking this sale was, you have to remember just how dominant Nvidia is in the world of AI. I mean, they're not just a player in the game, they're the king. Yeah, see, Nvidia isn't just an AI player. For a lot of investors, it is the AI play. Their GPUs, those high-performance chips, they're what power pretty much everything from large language models to generative AI. They are quite literally the engine driving the entire industry. And of course, the company's performance absolutely reflects that dominance. The stock has seen these incredible quadruple-digit gains over the last 5 years. And its revenue, it's just exploded, hitting a record of over $130 billion in the last fiscal year alone. It's been an absolute juggernaut. Which naturally brings us right back to the central question. Why would a famously savvy investor like Peter Thiel just walk away from the company at the very heart of the AI boom, a company that's firing on all cylinders? It just seems counterintuitive, right? Well, this is where the story gets really, really interesting, because Thiel didn't just cash out and go sit on the sidelines. Nope. He rotated that money almost immediately into two other very familiar tech giants. You can see the whole strategy right here. That massive 40% slice of the pie that was Nvidia is just gone. And in its place, huge new positions in Microsoft and Apple, which now make up the new core of his portfolio. So he goes out and buys nearly 50,000 shares of Microsoft, making it 34% of his fund. And then he snaps up over 79,000 shares of Apple, which now accounts for another 27%. You add those up, and these two titans now represent over 60% of his entire fund. Wow. So here's the crucial point to understand. This move wasn't about abandoning AI. Not at all. It was about changing the way he's betting on it. He's basically swapping one kind of AI investment for a totally different kind. And this, right here, is the key to the whole thing. It looks like Thiel traded a pure play on AI for a more diversified play. You see, Nvidia's fortune is almost entirely tied to the AI chip market. That's a classic high-risk, high-reward bet. But Microsoft and Apple, they're giants with multiple, super strong revenue streams, and they're just integrating AI into their already massive businesses. It's a broader, and you could argue, a much safer bet on the exact same trend. A lot of analysts are looking at this as a classic strategic rotation. He's probably locking in those absolutely massive profits from Nvidia's historic run-up and then reinvesting that cash into stable, profitable giants that, still have plenty of room to grow, but maybe with a little less volatility. So, what does all this mean for you, for me, for anyone watching the AI market? Well, Thiel's move isn't just about one billionaire's portfolio. It actually perfectly illustrates two completely distinct ways to invest in this transformative tech. And look, there's no single right answer here. It really just comes down to your own personal investment strategy. Path one is that aggressive growth approach. You're betting on the company providing the shovels in the gold rush. Path two is the more cautious, diversified approach, betting on the established towns that are going to thrive no matter which miner strikes it rich. And let's be super clear, the big takeaway here is not to just blindly copy Thiel's treats. That is never a good idea. The real value here is in understanding the strategic thinking behind the moves. It's basically a masterclass in risk management and portfolio strategy, playing out in real time with billions of dollars on the line. And all of this leaves us with one final, fascinating question for the entire AI market. Could this be a sign that the initial, crazy, explosive, high-risk phase is starting to mature? Are we entering a new era where it's the established giants, not the high-flying specialists, who end up being the biggest long-term winners? Only time will tell.